Ever feel like commercial real estate is its own exclusive club?
Yeah, like with secret handshakes and stuff.
Totally. It's like you need a decoder ring just to understand the lingo.
Uh-huh. I hear you.
Like, I get lost somewhere between cap rates and triple net leases.
You're not alone.
It can feel pretty intimidating.
It really can. But here's the thing.
Okay.
Understanding even the basics of commercial real estate, it's relevant to everyone.
Everyone, really?
Yeah. Think about it. It shapes our cities, businesses,
Oh, okay.
even our daily routines, really.
You know, it's funny you say that. When I was looking through the sources for this deep dive, I saw we've got Red Rose Appraisals
Right.
right there in Lancaster County. They're talking about valuations, and I'm thinking, okay, how does that affect me?
Mm-hmm.
But when you put it that way,
Yeah.
it suddenly clicks.
It's easy to miss those connections.
Yeah.
But think about it. Valuations, they don't just determine buying and selling prices. They have this ripple effect, They impact property taxes,
Right.
which then affect everything from school funding to local services.
That's a great point. And speaking of Red Rose Appraisals, I was totally struck by Chandra Mast's background, philosophy and equine studies.
Quite a combination.
Talk about a unique path to becoming a certified general appraiser.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you wonder if she factors in like good feng shui for stables or something.
Well, it certainly highlights the diverse paths people take in this field, and her specialization in econometrics.
Right.
That tells you just how much data and analysis goes into determining a property's worth.
Yeah.
This isn't just about gut feeling, it's a rigorous process.
And it makes you realize that appraisers like Chandra are the unsung heroes of so many transactions.
Totally.
They're the ones who bring that objective perspective.
Absolutely. They're essentially setting the stage for everything that follows.
Right.
And speaking of stages, let's dive into this fundamentals of commercial real estate course outline you've got.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
It breaks down all the key players involved: brokers, attorneys, lenders. Feels like a whole production.
It does. And while this outline defines those roles really clearly, I'm curious, are these players the same for all commercial real estate deals?
That's a great question.
Or are there, say, specialized brokers for different types of properties?
While the core players are usually there, their areas of expertise often get more specific. Depending on the deal, for instance, you might have brokers who specialize in negotiating leases
Right.
for industrial warehouses versus those who focus on retail spaces.
Makes sense. It's like any specialized field, you go where your niche is.
Exactly.
And this outline really emphasizes the distinction between commercial and residential real estate. A lot of people might think they're basically the same, just on different scales.
Right.
But there are some key differences.
Exactly. And one of the biggest is how properties are valued. Residential real estate often relies on comparable sales, what have similar homes in the area sold for recently.
Right, makes sense.
But with commercial properties, it's all about the income potential.
So instead of comparing houses, we're comparing cash flow.
You got it. That's where those terms cap rate and net operating income, or NOI, come into play. Essentially, you're analyzing how much income a property can generate, which helps determine its value for investors.
Okay, let's unpack this because I have a feeling understanding cap rate and NOI is crucial. So you're telling me that like a tiny coffee shop in a prime location could be worth more than a massive warehouse in the middle of nowhere.
It might sound crazy, but yeah.
Wow.
That's the thing about commercial real estate. It's not just about the square footage. It's about location, visibility, that income potential.
This totally changes how I look at all those for lease signs around town.
Right.
Yeah. And speaking of different types of properties, this course outline breaks it down to 4 main categories: office, retail, industrial, and land.
Okay.
What I find really interesting is how each one is being impacted by those future trends.
Yeah.
The ones highlighted in that infographic you provided.
Absolutely. Those trends are reshaping the commercial real estate landscape as we speak.
Yeah.
Take office spaces, for instance.
Okay.
Remember we talked about Class A, B, and C classifications earlier?
Right. Although, to be honest, I'm a little fuzzy on what those classifications actually mean.
Sure, it's all about the quality and amenities of the space.
Okay.
Class A,
Yeah.
those are your shiny new high-rise buildings, all the bells and whistles,
Right.
prime locations, top-notch facilities, you name it. They attract big-name tenants. They command top-dollar rents.
So like those sleek skyscrapers you see in downtown areas?
Exactly.
Okay. But with remote work becoming more common, like our infographic highlights, those Class A buildings might be facing some stiff competition now, right?
You got it. It's an interesting dynamic as companies reevaluate their need for these traditional office spaces.
Yeah.
Those older, maybe slightly less glamorous Class B and C buildings,
Right.
they're getting a second look.
Interesting.
Especially since they might be cheaper to rent or to buy and present opportunities for renovation and customization to fit more modern needs.
So we might start seeing a shift towards more flexible workspaces, co-working arrangements,
Yeah.
maybe even buildings that combine office space with other uses like residential or retail.
Precisely. It's all about adaptability and creating environments that cater to the evolving nature of work and lifestyle these days.
And speaking of lifestyle, let's move on to the retail sector. If office spaces are adapting to remote work, retail is on a roller coaster ride thanks to e-commerce.
Tell me about it.
It's a huge trend. Every day there's another headline about online shopping and the challenges facing traditional brick-and-mortar stores.
It's a dramatic transformation, and it's pushing retailers to think outside the box.
Yeah.
Or rather, outside the online cart, I guess you could say.
Oh, good one.
The course material touches on those different types of retail spaces: shopping centers, malls, standalone stores. They're all having to find ways to create experiences that go beyond just browsing and buying.
It's like that old saying, location, location, location isn't enough anymore.
Yep.
You need a reason for people to actually get off the couch and into the store these days.
For sure.
So what are they doing? Are they turning into, like, entertainment hubs, community centers, or what?
It's a mix of everything. We're seeing this rise in what they call experiential retail, where the focus is on creating these memorable experiences for shoppers.
Right.
Think interactive displays, pop-up events, personalized services, things you can't replicate online.
So it's about making shopping more social, more engaging, maybe even a little bit Instagrammable.
Exactly. And it ties into another key trend highlighted in the infographic, the rise of mixed-use spaces.
Okay.
Just like we might see offices incorporating other uses, shopping malls and centers are evolving. They're becoming these destinations that offer a blend of retail, dining, entertainment, even residential spaces, all in one.
It's about creating that sense of community, right?
Yeah.
That third place
Mhm.
between work and home where people actually want to spend their time. Makes you wonder what's going to happen to all those big box stores we see popping up on the outskirts of town.
Right.
Are they going to become giant laser tag arenas?
Haha. Now, wouldn't that be something? While their future is uncertain, there's no denying the impact of e-commerce on the industrial sector.
Right.
Those warehouses and logistics hubs are the backbone of online shopping.
Yeah.
And their demand is soaring.
Right. They're like the behind-the-scenes heroes of our online shopping addiction.
Yeah.
And I bet that trend towards automation and robotics is only going to fuel the need for even bigger, more sophisticated industrial spaces.
It's a rapidly evolving landscape, and one more trend impacting all sectors, from those shiny Class A offices to these massive warehouses, is the growing focus on sustainability.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's not just a buzzword anymore. It's a core consideration for both investors and tenants.
Absolutely. That whole going green concept has definitely moved from niche to mainstream. Our outline briefly mentions green buildings, but I'm curious what makes them so appealing from a commercial real estate perspective.
Right.
Is it just about attracting environmentally conscious tenants, or are there other financial incentives at play? It's going to be more than just a feel-good factor, right?
Wait.
Like green buildings, they have to make financial sense too for investors and businesses,
Yeah.
for them to really catch on.
Yeah, exactly. Think about it. Lower energy and water consumption.
Yeah.
That means reduced operating costs for tenants,
Right.
which can be a big selling point.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And for investors, sustainable buildings, they often command higher rents and resale values.
So it's not just about saving the planet, it's about saving money too.
Exactly.
Talk about a win-win.
It's a smart business move for sure. And it just makes sense, with growing environmental awareness these days.
Totally. But as we've been talking about all these trends, how they impact different property types,
Right.
there's this one aspect we haven't really touched on yet, something pretty fundamental to this whole commercial real estate thing.
Okay.
Leases.
Ah, yes. Leases.
Right.
They're a big deal.
Huge. The backbone of the whole operation.
And this course outline, it dives into all the details, mentioning everything from gross leases to net leases, even those, what are they called, the infamous triple net leases.
Right.
To be honest, as someone who mostly deals with just, residential renting, these terms sound kind of intense. I hear you. They can be pretty complex.
Yeah.
But even understanding the basics, it's really crucial
Okay.
for both tenants and landlords.
Right.
So a gross lease is straightforward. The tenant pays their rent, it's a flat rate, and the landlord covers most of the property expenses.
Okay. Simple enough.
But then you have a net lease. This is where some of those responsibilities shift to the tenant.
So with a net lease, you're not just paying rent. It's like you become a mini landlord. Kind of
Yeah, in a way.
wild.
Tenants might be responsible for things like property taxes, insurance, even maintenance, depending on how the lease is set up.
Wow. Okay.
And then there's the triple net lease.
Right. The triple net.
The tenant takes on pretty much all of those responsibilities.
Okay. So with a triple net lease, you're basically saying, I'll take on the risks and the rewards of ownership, but, oh yeah, I don't actually own the property.
Yeah, you got it. Higher risk, but potentially higher reward for tenants.
Right. Got it.
It definitely requires careful planning, though. You really have to understand all the costs involved before you jump into something like that.
It makes me want to brush up on my lease reading skills, that's for sure.
It's always good to read the fine print.
Yeah, no kidding. So they say the devil's in the details.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with commercial real estate.
Right. But even if you've, like, mastered the art of reading a lease,
Right.
there's always this element of the unknown.
Always.
Remember how that infographic highlighted global uncertainty as a major trend?
Oh, yeah, it's a constant, right? Global events, economic shifts, even just things like interest rates, inflation, all of it can have a ripple effect on investments, on property demand.
It's true.
It really is. It's like trying to predict the weather sometimes.
It's like you need a crystal ball on top of your calculator to really
Mhm.
navigate this world. But, even with all the complexities, all the uncertainty, I don't know, there's something really fascinating to me about actually understanding, like, the forces that shape the world around us, our
Okay.
built environment.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
And I have to say, I never really thought about land as commercial real estate before. But it makes total sense. It's the basis for everything.
It is. It's easy to get caught up in the world of buildings and leases.
Right.
But land is where it all begins. Understanding things like land use regulations, zoning, development potential, it's all crucial.
Right. Especially as populations grow, demographic trends shift.
Exactly.
It's like a giant game of SimCity out there.
Haha.
You're trying to anticipate all these shifts and make strategic decisions about where and how to develop. It makes you look at those empty lots, those construction sites, with a whole new perspective, wondering what the future holds.
It's about connecting the dots, right?
Totally.
Between global trends and what's happening right in our own communities.
Absolutely. And it makes you realize commercial real estate isn't just about buildings and transactions.
Right.
It's about people,
Yeah.
their needs, their aspirations,
Well said.
It's about creating the spaces where people work, shop, dine, connect, all of it. And understanding even just the fundamentals, which is what we've done today, it gives you this whole new appreciation for the complexities, but also for all the possibilities. It's an ever-evolving landscape out there.
It really is.
You've given our listeners a lot to think about today, that's for sure. No more zoning out when someone mentions cap rates or triple net leases.
Definitely not.
And hey, maybe they'll even find themselves looking at that empty lot down the street, wondering what might pop up and how it'll shape their community.
I love that.
From feeling intimidated by all the jargon to seeing those for lease signs in a whole new light, that's the power of a good deep dive.